Good morning. This is not Larry Ivory. It's LaDonna Raeh on the Wake Up Show Chicago. Good morning. You are listening to us live on WVON 1690, and we can be heard all across the world on iHeartRadio. This show is powered by the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce and proudly sponsored by Wind Creek Casino Southland. We're coming to you live for a reason. And that is because we are always looking to empower Black business, no matter where you're located, especially in Illinois, through the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce. So make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's the Wake Up Show Chicago for exclusive content. And remember, we're here each and every Saturday at 9 a.m. Central Daylight Savings Time, bringing you the information, the conversations, and the strategies that help Black businesses grow and thrive. Now, I just happen to be the owner of Raeh Consulting and the chairman of the marketing committee of the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce and a proud member of the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce because this work isn't what we talk about, it's what we live. And of course, I am co hosting with the man who leads his mission each and every day, President and CEO of the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce and chairman of the board of the National Black Chamber of Commerce in Washington, D.C. Good morning, Mr. Larry Ivory. It took forever. Yeah, that's so true. Well, speaking of lobby day, that's a day for us to all get together. And I know when people hear it, they go, "Well, that has nothing to do with me." But if you take a look at what lobby day is, it is an opportunity to meet up with legislation while information is being passed with or without us. So if we show up in numbers, because we've got a coach bus that's going up to Springfield on April 9th, that leaves early in the morning. And once we are packing that bus and we show up, because everyone wanted to complain about how the migrants showed up in Chicago, didn't they? They showed up on a bus that is a concentrated, concerted effort to show up and make some changes, and they obviously made some moves. So what we're doing and what we have done in the previous years is we've shown up on the bus at the Lincoln statue. That's where we meet up for the agenda, the pass out, and the information that to go to different agencies. Some of those agencies include the Illinois Department of Revenue, the Illinois Department of Transportation, Do It, uh, and so on. There's a nice list on our website. If you go to ilbcc.org and you go under events, you'll see the lobby day agenda and information on why we're going out there. But we get this opportunity to split off in groups and actually talk to the lawmakers, not the middleman, not somebody's secretary, nothing against secretaries, happy Secretary's Day when it comes up, but to talk to these lawmakers about what is it that we need to make happen in order to get a higher percentage of the contracts that are sitting on the table of those decision makers. Now, in order to get counted for the bus ride, we need you guys to go to our website. That's Illinois, that's ilbcc.org. When you go to calendar, you'll see calendar of events. You'll also go to the menu and see lobby day specifically. Once you click on that, it will ask you if you want to come on your own or if you want to come on the bus. There's no obligation to come on your own. There's no obligation to come on the bus. But if you come on the bus, we want to make sure we have room for you. And if we run out of room, Larry, I think we're going to get another bus. Or is that it? Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Mhm. Of course, yes. Well, I do have a question for you. Um, if I have a mom and pop corporation, LLC, and I hear about Lobby Day, I hear that we're only getting a small percentage of the contracts. What is the plan to get more of that? Because DEI, was it working or was it stifling? Hmm. I'm glad you specified that. Yeah, I'm glad you did. Yeah, sure, sure. So, just my wheels are turning because I'm always thinking about how our audience can hear this. And speaking of our audience, you can call in at 773-591-1690. Um, but if you have any questions, if you want to find out how to get involved, what to expect, a day in the life at Lobby Day, all of those things. But going back to 11246, the executive order, 60 years it was sitting as an executive order. How do we avoid having these stalemate executive orders sit when we have control of the Senate, when we do have control of the House, I should say, and we don't hold them accountable? What do we do to make sure that this doesn't happen in the future? Because if we have an executive order, obviously that's a starting point, but it's not a permanent fix. It has to be or should I say drafted into legislation in order to become an actual bill so that we can turn this into law. Has this not happened? Have we not held our people accountable? Can you explain that? Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh, goodness. Come on, say it again. And if you guys are listening, I'd like to hear from you. 773-591-1690. Tell us what executive order has been, I know we're talking local, but what executive order really raised your eyebrow and made you nervous? If you have any of those experiences, because I know as we hear these daily, almost daily, there the general population in America is like, wait a minute, are we being specifically attacked? Is this going to affect me and my family, my community, my church, our community leaders, our schools, just even recently? And we've got even the Illinois Department of Education that is being targeted at this point. But except we are a blue state. Larry, you and I have had this conversation, and I would really like to take a moment and let our listeners know that when these conversations go on off of the platforms of the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce, the Wake Up Show Chicago, CNN, WVON, work is still getting done. And that's where we hold our legislation accountable. Mm-hmm. April 9th. So again, go to ilbcc.org and select the calendar or lobby date under the menu and sign up. It's free. It's free. Plus, we're going to be having a networking event after we're done meeting with those different agencies so that everyone can unwind and network and pass out business cards and get back on the bus and come home and do it all over again. Um, you and I were speaking about the Illinois population and how is it one in one order or the other? And that was, are people leaving and then the business leave, or are the businesses leaving Illinois and then the people leave? Mhm. Yeah. Yes, and there are power in numbers. We're building something right here in Illinois. So don't look at the numbers and go, you know what, let me pack up. Because we're already on the table in addition to that, especially with us going down for lobby day and having an ear and the relationship that you have established with the chamber over the years, that you can't just start that overnight. That took some time. That and it took some fighting for procurement contracts, access to capital, and black entrepreneurship in as a whole. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Well, that sweet tea wasn't good for you. Don't you feel your kidneys throbbing after you drink that sweet tea? I'm telling you. Hmm. No, no. I agree. Absolutely. It's not working if we're not working it. And the easiest thing to do is nothing. Illinois has one of the strongest Black business advocacy networks in the country. So, with Lobby Day, supplier diversity initiatives, and public private partnerships, Illinois is one of the few states where Black businesses have a real infrastructure behind them. Because, and there's another point I want to read, change happens when we show up, not when we leave. It's easy to feel discouraged, but leaving doesn't guarantee better conditions elsewhere. And a lot of times that grass will seem greener on the other side. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. attorney. Yeah. Hmm. I love it. Well, can I slide in the information for Fashion for a Cause? Tina Augustus with the West Side Chamber is giving a fashion show on Saturday, April 12th. Larry, did you know I was hosting that? Woo woo. Well, Larry, can I give some more information on that though? Okay, and hold that because that's important. I know what you're about to say, but make sure that you guys, it's going to be on April 12th, 2025, at the Karen or Kareem Center for the Arts. That's at 5628 West Washington Boulevard in Chicago. Now, this will start cocktail reception and red carpet promenade will start at 5 p.m. And then 6 p.m. will be the actual fashion show. They start on time, guys. So early bird tickets are still available at $35 and you can get VIP tickets for $150. Regular tickets are $50 and I will post the link onto our Facebook page, which is the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce, so that you guys can get the information. And if for more information, you can call 317-408-9186. Shout out to Tina Augustus. And Bernie is also the fashion designer that's going to be highlighted that night. So this is all a great charitable cause. This is a Saturday. Mm. Mm. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Well, we only have a minute and a few seconds left. Guys, make sure that you go to ilbcc.org. I know that in the description for today's show, we talked about how we were going to go into the AI gentrification, but we're going to table that for another day. However, make sure that you guys make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's important because our numbers are going up, but we want to get them further so that you guys can see the videos that we're posting and sharing with you so that you have more information on the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce. This show is sponsored by Wind Creek Casino Southland. Shout out to them out in Homewood. I spent my birthday there. Beautiful facility. Make sure you check them out and make sure that you understand the membership that has its benefits with the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce, and that's at ilbcc.org to become a member. And if you have questions, our phone numbers are posted on our website and our social media. Just look for the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce and the Wake Up Show Chicago. Larry, you want to close us out? All right. As you should. Teaching is repeating until learning takes place. We'll see you next Saturday on the Wake Up Show Chicago, right here on WVON 1690, also heard on iHeartRadio. Bye bye for now.